All right. And we are hopping right into draft for game 3 of the best of 5 series. Valley leading 2-0 could possibly be the grand finale for this matchup. We're seeing a lot of the same bands coming out, nothing new to speak of so far. The first mix-up does come when the ban comes out on Jin, taking away that pick for Little Jappy, forcing him probably out of the MF. Zimrothron himself banning the Syndra away to make sure that Swartzy can't have that pick. Vaxis picking up Yasuo to deny it from Zimrothron, possibly give it to Swartzy or Reedman. Duke CJ1 finally picking up something besides Zanara, going for Malphite. Kane picked up for Grandmaster once again. Sam going for another tanky pick in the Sejuani with a lot of setup. Swartzy picking the Zoe. A very strong pick that we've seen from him. Very lane dominant and probably his first good matchup so far in this series as Zimrothron locks in the LeBlanc. The Assassin against Assassin matchup is very volatile, and as soon as one of them starts rolling, it can get out of hand very, very quickly. Both these champs also have very good roam potential with a lot of mobility, especially post 6. So it'll be interesting to see how the mid lane spills into the other lanes and affects the entire map. The rest of the bans are looking pretty standard so far, at least for both sides. Yone banned, so Zimrothron must have been a 4 or 5 pick. Meanwhile, Jappy picking up the Kaisa, something that we haven't seen much of this tournament at all, but is very strong in the meta currently. Reedman countering with the Caitlyn, a very rough matchup for Kaisa. Pato topping it off with Leona as Diamond PvPer goes back to his roots on the Vel'Koz. So Vaxis will be playing the Yasuo in the Malphite lane, which is usually pretty hard for Yasuo to win. Kane in a bad matchup against the Sejuani. Sejuani having a weak early, but outscaling him very, very quickly with high base damage and high armor. Swartzy and Zimrothron having a bit of an even matchup, which can get out of hand for either one of them, depending on how the early game goes. And Mountain having a very, very strong bot lane that should quite easily roll the Valley one, assuming Valley makes a couple mistakes being on uncomfortable champs. But it is possible that Jappy has another very safe game where he can get a little CS lead, but not go too crazy, understanding how powerful Caitlyn, Sejuani, Leona can be. I'm expecting to see another cleanse coming out and another ignite for Diamond PvPer because it is possible to pick the Leona, especially early. That being said, we're going to hop into intermission once again. Alrighty. And here we are at the start of Game 3. Valley leading 2-0 against Iowa Mountain. This could be the last game of the tournament. As we hop in, I am joined as always by my co-host Dustin.
Here we are, Game 3. I was not expecting it to be 2-0 at this point. I definitely thought we were going to trade 1-for-1 until we got to Game 5, but we do see some more adaptations coming in from Mountain. We see they're finally going with an invade. We see Valley is doing something similar with a 5-man. Both teams are just going to barely miss each other, going into the opposite sides of the jungle. So this could definitely make the level 1 and the rest of the game a lot more interesting. But it looks like Mountain is going to recall, and they could just be trying to steal. When Mountain comes back, they need to be extremely careful to not run into this rest of the Valley team, but it looks like they're just going to back as well. Mountain, if they play this correctly, they could get a buff advantage.
Yeah, it's looking like they're absolutely undetected. Duke CJ1 could go into check and see what's happening. I don't think he's spotted, and he is going to spot them on an early ward. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to stay and commit to the buff. It looks like Sam is going to try and take this red buff early, but Duke CJ1 turns around, probably looking to contest, as Grandmaster, who's level 2, is making his way directly over.
Yeah, a great ward from Duke CJ1 to help see what Mountain is doing, and super quick from Grandmaster to come up here and get the flash out of Sam Nichols and get both of his buffs. And now Sam Nichols is going to be super far behind, not getting anything right away. He's also still level 1 and half health, so if Grandmaster decides that he wants to go and invade, he might be able to find a kill.
Yeah. I can't right now. I'm streaming a game. Yeah.
We do see first blood coming in from the Leona on the level 2 spike in the bot lane. So again, we see Mountain getting first blood, getting an advantage, but Valley has shown that they don't really care too much about first blood, and they're just going to find other ways to find their advantages in these games.
Yeah, we took note in the draft of the strong bot lane power that Mountain has. The Caitlyn Leona is not something we trifled with in a very hard matchup for the range disadvantage Kai'Sa. Valley is going to reply by getting the flash out of Vaxis with an early gank. Grandmaster getting a lot of points towards his red form this early in the game. But both teams really playing aggressive in this match, trying to get as much lead as they can. Pato's going to go immediately back in without Ignite up. They're going to get a lot of poke onto Jappy, but nothing too crazy comes out of it.
Yeah, great job from Mountain. They decided to take away the Jhin from Little Jappy. He has definitely found that as a comfort pick in this series. But again, we're seeing Grandmaster on his Kayn. So we see another gank in the top lane. He doesn't have flash. He might be able to trade a kill onto the Malphite, but he is getting super low and he is going to be taken down by the Kayn. But Duke does use his flash right at the end of that, trying to secure the kill, but Grandmaster does get it. So at the end of the day, that is okay for Vaxis, knowing that Malphite does not have flash. So if he's able to get back to lane and find a good time to engage on the Malphite, he might be able to get a kill.
Yeah, he does still have his teleport up, so it is not the end of the world. We see Diamond PvP getting caught in a stunlock trap. Little Jappy might go for a little something to try and trade. And it's actually going to be Pato going in for the flash stun. A cleanse coming in from Jappy, trading back the flash. And that fight is going to end with almost no summoners left on either side.
Yeah, I think this bot lane has definitely been the most underrated matchup in this series so far. We have seen that Pato and Reedman are definitely trying to find their advantages, but Little, Joppy, and Diamond PvP are doing whatever they can to match the lane pressure of Reedman and Pato. I do believe that Mountain has a much better lane matchup this time with the Caitlyn and the Leona. They have so much kill potential, they have so much follow up, and so much easy CC to get onto the squishy Vel'Koz who doesn't have any mobility. So this is great picks from both teams, and I love how they are not shying away from any of their engages. Even when Mountain has been engaging and finding really good fights in the bot lane, we see Little Joppy still being aggressive, doing whatever he can to try to trade blow for blow.
Yeah, the mid lane matchup starting to finally swing in Swartzy's favor for once. He gets a solo kill onto Zimrothron. He does end up burning both summoners for it, but we're starting to see a little bit more of the Mountain that we recognize, taking those early power plays and starting to get a lead as early as possible.
Mountain has taken off the training weights. They're going full force ahead right now. They are winning in every single lane. They've gotten solo kills in the bot lane. They got a solo kill in the mid lane. And even with Vaxis dying in the top lane, he has a level advantage. He has had multiple ganks come top lane, and he still has the CS, the gold lead, and he doesn't have a gold lead. He's down 50 gold, but he still has the XP and the level lead right now.
Yeah, just 3 solid matchups coming out for Mountain. The bot lane would feel quite unwinnable for the Kai'Sa just due to the matchup setup and the fact that Sejuani has been playing around boss side a lot in the first 2 games, which means they probably are feeling a bit of the pressure. Despite her showing on the map like this, she has a very good ability to get over walls and get across the map quite often. Zimrothron going in for a bit of poke. Misses the chain, so he'll end up backing out. And for once, we see Sam Nichols actually with a CS lead over Grandmaster.
Yeah, it's quite a surprise, especially since Sejuani is not really known for having super fast clears, especially against the Kayn. I definitely felt like Kayn should have the matchup advantage here this game, but Sam Nichols has a 9 CS lead, and Grandmaster is doing whatever he can in this top lane to stop this Yasuo from snowballing.
Yeah, I think we just saw the 3rd or 4th regank coming onto the Yasuo, probably knowing that he can't do much on the bot side due to the difference in power between the lanes, at least at this point. He's paying a lot of attention to this Yasuo to make sure that he does not get out of hand like Zimrothron did in game 1 of this series.
Great job all around from Mountain. They're definitely not giving up and just rolling over. They're showing that they have fight still left in them. In both of the games before, it's not like Valley just, took advantage of the entire game. We do see Zimrothron going in and looking for a solo kill of his own, trading just like he did the other games. He found a solo kill by himself. He did have a little bit of help from Grandmaster just in case something was going wrong, but this has been such a great matchup in mid where Swartzy has been able to find kills of his own, but unfortunately Zimrothron got the best of him in that fight.
Yeah, the mechanics of both mid laners this game has been a real sight to see. Zimrothron using his distortion to dodge the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and at the same time Grandmaster's going in for a dive in the top lane. He does have his ultimate. He's just barely not going to get it off. He did not mark him. And Sam is going to trade back by having his stronger bot lane take the Infernal Dragon.
It would be great for Mountain to pick up the first dragon of a game in this series. Little Joppy does find himself in a very weird position with 2 people coming from dragon. They are able to deal a decent amount of damage to Valley right now. A nice cleanse and flash coming in from Joppy. He has shown this game that he is not going to be picked out super easily. He's had some really good cleanses and flashes away from any engages.
Yeah, and despite the somewhat impossible matchup that he's been put in, he's only down 13 CS. We do see a mid lane scuffle coming out. Swartzy using the Ignite. Both mid laners still having Flash. And Zimrothron will come back with, I believe, the ultimate advantage there. We see a fight in the mid lane start to break out. Grandmaster getting a tag onto Reedman, going for the ult. Reedman flashing. Pato goes down, giving up his shutdown. Sam comes over to try and cover Reedman, let him get out. And it will be a 1-for-0 on the side of Valley in that exchange.
Yeah, a great re-engage coming in from Valley. All of them playing super well as a team in that fight. Multiple members got low. They are low on mana, but they were able to trade as much damage as possible onto the Mountain crew to get a kill there. A nice play from Swartzy going in, getting a kill onto the Vel'Koz, but he will give up his life in return.
Yeah, Zimrothron always there to trade it back, and it's looking like he's going to have a bit of a bigger lead than Reedman this game, but Reedman's team is making up for it. The only issue that I have is that 2 of the kills have gone over to Pato on the Leona. It will help him get tanky a little bit sooner, but definitely not where you would want the gold if you were Mountain.
Caitlyn definitely wishes she had the kills, especially since she has a decent CS lead in the bot lane right now, about 18 CS, and she's gotten a plate already, looking to get another one here soon. Not enough damage, and it looks like Grandmaster is coming in. They do spot him through the wall there, so nothing's going to come from that. And there's just been a lot of pressure coming in. A great engage on to Diamond PvPer. Perma CC'd, insta kills Diamond PvPer, but it looks like Grandmaster is here for the gank to try to see what he can do. Pato is super low, is able to get away. Great play from Mountain.
Yeah, that trap from Reedman to stop Little Jappy from continuing the chase was absolutely beautiful, saving the life of Pato there. And it's something that, you know, you only see from seasoned Caitlyn players. You see him flashing his level 7 mastery because he knows that that trap was sick and saved his teammate's life. Zimrothron, meanwhile, going for the solo kill onto Swartzy, gets the Ignite, gets a full chain, and ends up taking him down, and is going to extend his lead in this mid lane even further in this match.
Yeah, great game so far. The game is so close. It's dead even right now. Only a couple hundred golds in favor of Mountain. We see some action going on in the top lane. The duo of Sam Nichols and Vaxis roaming together, looking for whatever they can. Zimmerthron needs to be careful. He is a little far. A nice dodge onto the ult. A nice return on his W to get away from the engage on Sam Nichols, but he is super low. I don't know if Valley can win this fight here. We do coming in is able to secure the kill with his ult right at the end. Zimmerthron is still super low with Swartzy dealing a lot of damage. They are able to kill Zimmerthron at the end, and on the other side of the map we have another kill going in favor of the bot lane. So Mountain is showing that even though they are getting caught in these fights, they're able to sustain and live long enough to get multiple kills. And here we go, it might be another kill. Unfortunately, Swartzy did not have his ult to get into range, so Grandmaster living just barely.
Yeah, it is exciting to watch, especially the match between Swartzy and Zimrothron. We do see Diamond PvPer getting the shutdown onto Reedman. A lot of gold into the pocket of this Vel'Koz, which is going AP, which means he's going to scale a lot harder than Pato into this mid to late game.
Yeah, the only bad thing is that Pato, when he does find these engages onto Diamond PvPer, they have shown that they are able to kill him without any response from the Vel'Koz. We do see a nice engage coming to the top lane, but at this point, Malphite is super tanky. He does flash away, is able to get a kill right at the end, barely tanking one more tower shot. So great job from Duke, buying as much time as he could to trade a kill for a kill, even without his ult.
Yeah, he does get the attack speed slow. We see Zimrothron going for another solo kill onto Swartzy. He's going to end up backing out, not wanting to even risk giving up his flash because he knows that he can do it anytime he wants, since he does have the mythic item advantage. It looks like Swartzy's going to recall, and try and close that gold gap since he can afford it right now, which is going to cost Mountain the Cloud Dragon.
Yeah, it looks like this is gonna be an Ocean Soul this game. So the first time we're having a different soul in the series, and I think both teams are gonna be extremely happy with this soul. It's just whatever team is gonna be able to pick it off first should definitely have the advantage going forward. A barely miss from the Leona E there. They are able to get a lot of damage onto the Kaisa, but here comes the Kane through the wall, is able to get onto the Leona, but so much damage is still being done. A lot of the skill shots are missing, but the ult coming in from Diamond PvP is able to take the Leona, but on the end of that fight, the Caitlyn was able to find the Kaisa, so it was just a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, Jappy hitting the Leona tank a little too much minion damage from the casters there, and ended up dying after eating the Piltover Peacemaker. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Swartzy gets an exhaust off the creep wave and uses it to win the trade with Zimrothron, which means it'll be a bit of a handshake there, but definitely a one play in the bot lane for Mountain.
Oh yeah, Swartzy needs to be careful. Zimrothron does have Ignite, so he does get the kill, and another 1v1 kill in this mid lane. This has been probably the closest matchup we've seen this series. We've seen Swartzy has gotten a couple of 1v1 kills, the same thing with Zimrothron, and they're still trading with super low health. A very nice ult to get away there from Duke CJ with about 30 health to survive. We are seeing that this Yasuo is dealing a lot of damage, so this 1v1 is slowly getting out of hand to where Yasuo is going to be able to just take over the split push. We also saw a kill going on to Sam Nichols on the bottom side of the map. We have Grandmaster is doing such a nice job with his roaming this game. He is in a lot of good spots. He is helping the top lane not get too far behind in the early game, and after they've realized that Yasuo is just too strong, the Malphite has played super safe, and Kane has spent most of his time in the bot lane where the Leona and Caitlyn have just been getting kill after kill.
Yeah, trying to slow down the momentum on Reedman is definitely a solid strategy, at least in the early game for Chaos. It looks like Grandmaster is going to get him very close to death as they force a teleport out of Vaxis, which is going to allow Duke CJ to have a bit of free farming time as Mountain looks to try and make a return play here with the top laner here.
Yeah, it was just Mountain again going in and engaging. They got Valley super low in the bot lane, but Grandmaster just shows up at the perfect time to stop any extra DPS coming in from Reedman. That made it very difficult for Pato to get out because Reedman just had to focus on surviving, or else he was going to give over a kill and possibly two over to Kane. So just great job and great positioning and pathing from Grandmaster. Zimrothron going a little aggressive in the mid lane, does not get hit by the knock up there. We're going to see a little bit of a stall in the mid lane. The mid lane tower is super low. We don't have Dragon coming up for quite a while. A nice dodge on the Q there from the Sejuani. So Zimrothron barely staying alive, just doing whatever he can to clear these minions in the mid wave.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of nice grouping coming in from Mountain, splitting coming in from Valley. I'm interested to see which player's strategy will work out more. That's going to be the kill for Zimrothron onto Vaxis. He might actually get a kill onto Swartzy as well. The Sleepy Turtle will hit some minion. Grandmaster just sitting here creating space for Zimrothron to just do what he wants. That is 3 for nothing in a 2v3 scenario coming out for Valley. A beautiful play. And honestly, excellent teamwork from Grandmaster and Zimrothron to make that work.
Yeah, such a great play from Zimrothron, just weaving in and out of the CC, dodging as much as he can, just barely living. He was definitely showing what LeBlanc can do whenever her W is up. Some great damage coming in from Diamond PvPer, and then Reedman might be able to get the ult and the snipe. Great play from Reedman to get the kill right here. Amazing. I definitely thought that Reedman was going to get picked, but he was lucky enough to dodge out on the knockup from the Vel'Koz there, and able to find enough return damage to get a kill in the 1v2.
Yeah, but with Vax's top and no teleport to his name, it looks like Valley's going to feel comfortable going for the Ocean Dragon to start stacking it. A bit of poke coming out from Swartzy. Sam decides not to even attempt it with his smite on cooldown, as we see a bit of a play coming out. Jappy and Duke CJ1 trying to get the pick on a Reedman. They do succeed. Pato returns the kill into Jappy, which is a really good gold efficient trade for Valley. And it might turn into a tower dive as Zimrothron shows up. Leona having her W up is a bit too tanky, so they decide to dip out as Vaxis continues split pushing top uncontested.
Yeah, great job from Vaxis. He might be able to get a tower here with Duke CJ TPing to top. Duke does not have an ult here, so Vaxis could get a kill. He does miss the tornado there, which would have almost guaranteed him a kill. He does have the shield bow passive. Pop does get the ult on top of Duke, but he is super low. A great 1v1 kill there from Vaxis. He's able to get the kill and the tower while the rest of his team is staying safe. Swartzy is running for his life away from multiple members of Valley, but is able to get away. Vaxis is now on the inhib tower. I don't know how much he's going to be able to get because his minion wave is running low. He might just try to stall as long as he can. He does not have ult. As long as Little Joppy stays away, he does not get the kill there, but great job from Vaxis to bring the attention away from the rest of his team, and he's able to get a kill, a tower, and almost got the inhib tower there as well.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful how many times he repeats this same strategy, because the more it happens, the more Valley will be prepared for it. And we've seen Valley with one pick can try and turn it into a game-winning play. So I like the idea coming out from Vaxis, but he's got to be careful because now that they've seen it and they know his game plan, he's going to be playing with fire every time he tries.
Yeah, agreed. It looks like Reedman is still doing a lot of damage onto Diamond PvPer, but if Diamond PvPer finds a couple of spells onto Reedman, he should be able to have enough assistance from Little Joppy to secure the kill. We don't see Dragon coming up anytime soon, but we see Zimrothron here in the bush going on to Pato. Pato getting a nice CC chain onto Zimrothron, does lock him down, and they are able to get a kill. So great job from the bot lane, able to find Zimrothron and get a nice shutdown onto the Caitlyn.
Yeah, the CC chain and the aftershock, Zimrothron definitely not running into the person that he wanted to. I think LeBlanc being one of the only champions on the team, they can't really burst with this sort of itemization that he has. We see another tower going down for Valley. Gold over on the mountainside. And it's starting to get a little bit out of hand. Still only about a 700 gold difference this game, though.
I want to point out how well both teams are playing right now. So Diamond PvPer got super low and would have died to Reedman's ult. However, Little Joppy was in a perfect position. As I'm saying that, they are getting caught out by Vaxis, and a nice ult from Joppy to get in range to finish off the kill while Grandmaster is on the back line. He's going to ult to buy a little bit of time, but Zimrothron does get hit by a Sleepy Trouble Bubble and does get super low, is able to kill Swartzy just by the skin of his teeth, and a couple. We have a 3-for-2 trade going on, and we still have Duke CJ in the fight going on top of Reedman, dodges the trap and is able to get a kill onto Zimrothron and get him double buffs on top of that and get a shutdown on the Caitlyn. I want to go back to my point earlier that Diamond PvPer would have 100% would have been dead from a Reedman ace in the hole. But Little Joppy was able to get in front of it just enough to dodge are to save Diamond PvPer's life, but because of that, Swartzy was able to land a Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto the Kaisa, but was just barely a couple pixels off from hitting a Q to finish off Little Joppy. Both of these teams are playing so well together. They're following up CC, they're dodging and blocking these abilities and saving their team whenever they can. Even though the kills are 16 to 22 in favor of Valley, the game is still within 100 or a couple hundred golds. Both teams are playing the best League of Legends they have played all tournament.
And that's exactly what we want to see in this last game, in this last series. It is the grand finals for a reason. Both teams are positioning for a 5v5 around this dragon. Red team does securing it, put them on the sole point. We see a trade coming out. Malphite goes down for Valley. Leona and Sejuani going down for Mountain. They're going to immediately turn it into a Yasuo, and it's looking like a clean sweep here for Valley. Grandmaster's going to get onto Reedman, no ult to his name. He's going to get kited a little bit by Swartzy as he's ignited, reducing his healing a lot. The ult's going to come out. He's going to dash behind Little Joppy.
Another nice block from Little Joppy coming in. Is able to hit the W long range, but I don't think they're going to be able to take Reedman. Zimmerthron is on the hunt right now. He is getting close to being in range. A nice, what was Caitlyn? The nice net coming in, trying to stay alive, but Zimmerthron does get the kill at the very end. Even though Malphite was not able to get his ult off in that fight, Valley was able to clean up multiple kills and is going to be able to get a lot of gold in return.
Yeah, and Valley is going back to that domination that we've seen so far this series. They had a bit of a shaky start, but a 5-for-1 fight is absolutely what you do not expect, but they pull out of nowhere. They turn it immediately into 2 to 3 towers. And possibly into priority on the Baron. The flank teleport coming out from Duke CJ1 might be able to set up a fight. Grandmaster comes in, a 3-man knockup on the Unstoppable Force. Immediately Swartzy is killed. The Root comes down onto the Sejuani, dropping the Aftershock. They're going to get a trade kill on the Grandmaster, who gets into his ult. A half-health heal as Jappy takes down Sam. A double knockup. And it's a 4-for-0 immediately without even resetting. 5-for-0 from Valley without even resetting off the back of the dragon fight.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time until Zimmerthron was finding the picks that he needed to start taking over the game. It looks like they are not going to push for anything more. They are going to recall here after getting a bunch of kills, a bunch of towers, and an inhib. They could be setting up for a Baron after this back, and after all of what Valley got, they are now up almost 6,000 gold.
Yeah, those 1 to 2 fights that Valley's just able to win is pretty much the difference that makes the game. At this point, they're able to just kind of do whatever they want. We now have an item lead on the Kaisa. Well, a little bit behind still because of the CS difference, which is 0 now. I'm not really understanding where the gold is coming from for Reedman, the advantage at least. But a massive lead in the mid, a massive lead in the jungle, a slight lead in the top lane, and a little bit behind in the bot lane. Those two fights make all the difference, and they can kind of just do whatever they want at this point.
Yeah, great job from Pato, just barely surviving, is able to get a little bit of vision into the Baron area, but here comes Grandmaster, just able to clear a pink ward that they had just placed on Baron. Valley is setting themselves up for some Baron control. If they're able to get a sweeper here soon, they should be able to clear out the vision that was just placed from Mountain, and they could start taking this Baron. But as we've seen, there's been only one team or one instance where whoever started the Baron gets the Baron. So Valley is definitely looking to try to get some picks beforehand so they don't risk Mountain stealing the Baron and catching back up like they have done in the first 2 games.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for a little bit of bush cheesing and vision control. We do see a control ward coming out from Pato as they start to fight the Malphite, who gets CC chained. He's going to be immediately locked down. Zimrothron goes into the back line trying to one-shot what looks like Swartzy or Reedman. Yeah, such a chaotic fight coming out. We see Sam Nichols drop low. He is taken down by Jappy. Grandmaster surviving on the backside of the fight, about to take 2 with him. He's still alive. They're going to end up running down Reedman. Well, this one is a 4-for-0 on the side of Valley. And they do have the option of ending the game here.
Yeah, great fight. Zimmerthron was able to find multiple kills on 2 different fights that they had going. They had one on the far left side of the top lane and then one in the jungle as well. So he was able to use the mobility to finish off a lot of those kills when both of the fights were super, super close. Grandmaster got super low, but was able to survive just enough and give enough time for Zimmerthron to find his way back into the fight to help him. So great job. Looks like Valley is going to be able to end out this game at about 31 minutes. Great job from Valley going 3-0 in this series, but I really think this is probably the score line of 3-0 does not justify how close this series actually was. Every game was super close. Even the second game when it had the biggest gold lead, which I think was at 10 or 11,000, Mountain still found a way to claw back into the game and push it to an 80 or a 38-minute mark. So great job from both teams. I think this definitely showcased the best team from Valley and the best team from Iowa, but it looks like Valley just got the best of Mountain this time.
Yeah, it started off with a draft in Team 1, Zimrothron getting his best champions in the Yasuo and the Syndra, and turned into just straight up game-winning fights in games 2 and 3. We really got to see, once the drafting shakes are out of the way, the real meat and potatoes of these two teams go head-to-head, and it was beautiful to watch. Both the 1v1 and 2v2 lane outplays from both of these teams, as well as the team fights that were nail-biters until the very end. A beautiful ending to the tournament. Not as long of a series as we had hoped, but definitely as close as we had expected, as both of the top teams were neck and neck for all 3 of these games. Valley happened to bring it home in all 3 of them, but still extremely well played from both these squads, and an exciting finish to the very first Valley League Championship Series tournament.
Yeah, a great series overall, a great tournament. What I want is whoever is still here, please tell us who you think the series MVP is in the general chatter, and we will have a interview with them here in a couple minutes. All right. It looks like we didn't get too many responses. It looks like most of the people here are part of Andrew's team anyway, so we might as well just jump into a quick interview. Corn, are you still here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Andrew, I have unmuted you. Are you able to talk?
Yeah.
Awesome. So it definitely looks like you were the MVP from the series. You had a great 3 games. all on three different signature champions of yours. First the Yasuo, and then the Syndra, and then the LeBlanc. But the first question I want to ask you is, even though you had some outstanding games individually, you guys played great overall team play. So, what was like the driving force pushing you guys to work so well as a team?
Well, obviously, it's a team game, but we wanted to orient a lot of they always had a bunch of like team-oriented team comps. So we wanted to do is make sure everyone was like participating in any role possible. So a lot of the times we had everyone like grouped mid and then two top lane, making sure everyone was doing what they could. Stuff like that, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you guys played super well as a team. No matter what was happening in the game, you guys had a fairly good idea of what you guys wanted to accomplish. You guys had really great objective control outside of the barons that were stolen on both teams. You guys were taking a lot of towers. Whenever something was happening on one side, there was always a response on the opposite side of the map. So I just want to first congratulate you and the rest of your team for how well you guys played together as a team.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, Corin, was there a question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, one thing I do want to know a little bit more about is you all ended up changing champions throughout the series, except for Grandmaster played Kane all three of the games.
Yeah.
Was that one of those picks that you guys wanted to make sure was in every comp, or it just happened to like fit and be viable with every set that you guys had?
Yeah, so I personally think that Jose's best champ is Kane. He's definitely the most comfortable on Kane, and Kane has a lot of variety just with his forms too. And on it, I think we're just going with the flow, and I think that comfort picks matter more than making a team comp. So getting Jose Kane every time was just pretty lucky, but we were aiming to get that champ every single time, and I was surprised they never banned it because I think that's his best champ, and I think he proved that.
He did indeed. A wonderful performance from him as well, but not a whole lot compared to the absolute mid lane domination we saw from you today.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they left up Yas and Syndra for me, but it is what it is. The last game was a little rough on LeBlanc. I didn't CS very well, but the rest of my team pulled through to help me win the game. So
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Swartzy. He definitely showed that he can go toe to toe with you in a 1v1 matchup, which is really hard, especially since you're the highest solo queue ranked player in the tournament by a decent margin. So props to him. He definitely showed that he was not going to get too far behind and be a detriment to his team. And just both teams played extremely well. What I would like to ask you is there something you could just mention about each one of your teammates that they did well this series?
yeah, so I think overall Joey, our support, he definitely improved a lot. I saw a lot more like proactive play from him than reactive this game, or in all of the games. And that was really surprising because I think he's naturally a passive player, but I think he's worked on that enough to the point where he's confident to play aggro finally. And then Connor, he did really, really, really well with his Jin. And obviously, he got the respect in the last game from them banning it. Kept up in CS gold, and that was insane from him. And then top lane, top lane was kind of an island, but Caleb did what he could, playing passive until Jose and him could work together as a team. And I think their synergy actually is pretty much the best, probably Caleb and Jose's, because their communication was phenomenal. Every single time they ganked, they had it all planned out before they decided to go in on anything.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting to watch. I think for both teams, I think this was the best League of Legends you guys have played all tournament. There was no like huge mistakes that was like from one team or the other. I think there were a couple moments where I saw where, especially coming from Little Joppy, whenever he was caught out, he had some great cleanses and flashes to get away, and then we had some great ganking timing coming in from Grandmaster. So just overall, I think everybody was playing the best I've seen them play. Even on Mountain, they had, even when they were down, they were finding the picks they needed. They were stealing Barons to keep themselves in the game, and just overall, they had great team play. So this, even though it was 3-0, the series felt super close, and that a couple of changes in those games, and it could have easily been a 3-0 for Mountain, but you guys were able to pull that through. It was super fun to watch, super fun to cast. I hope you guys had fun. Corin, do you have any final questions you want to ask Andrew?
No, he pretty much hit the nail on the head with all the things that I was curious about. But it was excellent League of Legends, and I agree with what Dustin was saying. It was the best games we've seen so far this tournament, and it makes me excited for whatever tournament we go into next. It means even from the first couple rounds, it'll be a lot more exciting since the nerves will be gone and you guys will be acclimated to the tournament setting and the sort of environment that you guys were put in, especially those that made it this far into the finals. Um, Extremely well played by you guys, and I'm happy that you brought it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job from everyone. I hope you guys had fun. Connor, if you could, if you're still here, could you remove the permissions where only admins can talk? I want everyone to give each other a little round of applause for winning the series. You guys did so well. I think, was this the first? No, I think Mountain 2-0'd their first one, right?
That sounds
I'm not
right.
sure.
Yeah, okay, so it
Yeah.
wasn't the first sweep, but I think you guys played so well. The team play definitely showed as the tournament went on. I know it was a little rough for all of the teams, and Iowa was winning pretty much every game in the first half, but it goes to show that once you guys got comfortable playing as your teams, that you guys were able to get the synergy and start winning those games because the individual skill level was all there. It was just putting all the pieces together. All right,
Everyone
so
should be able to unmute themselves.